Hello, everybody. I am doing something I've been wanting to do for a while, and something you'd probably be surprised that I'm doing. I'm reading a book. I know, me reading a book it's freaking absurd. Like, how could somebody with such a small IQ be able to comprehend the human language? I can't. But I wanted to read a book that is something I'm passionate about. Greek and Roman mythology, more so Greek mythology. I don't know much about Roman mythology other than, like the planets are named after Roman gods. But yeah, I'm pretty passionate about Greek mythology and may have gotten it from the God of War games. I can't help it. Those games are so freaking awesome. But I kind of had, I was kind of into, I'd say, no, Marvel didn't really get me into Norse mythology. I didn't really care. That version of Thor is unrealistic for somebody who eats and drinks a lot. But I don't know. Chris Hemsworth is hot, so I don't freaking care. Anyways, let's read about this, shall we? So, I want to. This is interesting. Um, and I like a lot of the stories here because it's actually really cool. Like the Trojan War is a story I appreciate and like, and the story of Prometheus is like my favorite. Um, in fact, I'm pretty sure my mother has a copy of Homer's Odyssey, which I'm pretty sure is about the Trojan War. And if you haven't, please watch the movie Troy. It's about the Trojan War. It is really freaking cool. It has Brad Pitt, I think, in it. It's a pretty good movie. Um, it, the Trojan War is like the Greeks versus freaking the Trojans and like Sparta, basically. Um, and it has Achilles in it. And for those of you who don't know, Achilles was a guy who was practically immortal. He wasn't, because he was murdered, so obviously he wasn't. But he was like dipped into this freaking juice. Let's put it in layman's terms here. So he was basically dipped in like a Fortnite chug jug held by the ankle, and then, however, because he was held by the ankle, they didn't get that part. All right, his mother didn't get that part, so they missed his entire ankle, and so that was his only vulnerable spot, and he died because he got shot in the leg during the Trojan War. Uh, Lucky shot, I guess. In Troy, the guy who was shooting at him just freaking blasts him right in the ankle, and he gets it immediately. I guess he read up on Homer's Odyssey before getting in a fight with him. So, you know. Anyways, so let's start. The Olympians, the gods and goddesses who lived atop Mount Olympus in Greece, were called the Olympians. The king and queen of the gods were Zeus and Hera. By the way, Zeus and Hera are just quite the romantic couple. They just also, they're brother and sister, okay? Yes, the incest. Apparently that's pretty hip. So, I don't know. I don't really care for incest, but what do I know? Anyways, Zeus. Zeus was the son of the Titans. He was primarily a sky and weather god, with the thunderbolt as his emblem. But his presence was inescapable throughout Greek mythology. Zeus shared the the world with his brothers Poseidon and Hades. Although Hera, his sister, was also his wife, Zeus had many other loves and shared. That doesn't say shared, does it? Sired many children, including Apollo, Artemis, Hermes, Argo, Perseus, Dionysus, and others. Those are names. Weather, god of weather, a weather god. That's not something I'd expect. I thought he was, god of thunder, thunderbolt. But, weather can also, make sense. Um, but once we get to Poseidon, that one's actually kind of cool as well. But next up we have Hera. Hera. I don't care how you say it. An ancient goddess existing long before the time of migrations. Interesting. And the new gods, including Zeus. Wait, she's older than Zeus? Is that what they're saying? Okay. She was the protector of women, children, and marriage. Oh, she couldn't exactly protect hers now, could she? Because Zeus really just can't keep it in his pants, really. That guy has so many children. It said Apollo, Artemis, Hermes, all of those, and others. There was many more. Many more. Are you kidding me? Also, before we move on to this, I'm not even into anime, but there's this anime on Netflix called Blood of Zeus, and I freaking loved it. That also really kickstarted my love of Greek mythology. It's a really cool one. I actually watched it in its entirety, which is a shock because not only do I not watch just TV shows in general that much, because I never finish them, I'm not really a big fan of anime. But it's not like that kind of like over the top Dragon Ball Z cartoony anime. It's different. But anime nevertheless. Anyways, back to this. Her cult, interesting, was so strong that newcomers had to acknowledge it and absorb it into their own mythology by making Hera the consort of Zeus. Her cult. Right. Anyways, Poseidon, the god of the seas and horse and of horses, of course. Right. And the cause of earthquakes, the earth shaker. In ancient times, long before the appearance of Zeus, Poseidon was worshipped as a god of fertility and herdsmen. So yeah, he's the reason earthquakes happen, supposedly. Which is pretty cool. It's not something, I just, hearing these names, you connect the dots immediately. You're like, oh, Zeus, like, he has the thunderbolt, he's the god of thunder. Poseidon, he spends his, life in the ocean, so he's the god of the sea. It makes sense. But god of horses? God of horses? What? He's the god of the tectonic plates? Are you kidding me? He moves the tectonic plates? Is that what you're telling me? Alright. Anyways, Demeter. Never heard of him. Okay. The goddess of fertility. Interesting. And the mother of Persephone, who was carried off to the underworld by Hades. Great. The winter months were dark and unfruitful, for that was when Persephone went underground. Okay. Hades, the ruler of the dead and the undead world. What's the difference between the dead world and undead? What is he? You mean like heaven and hell, basically? Is that what you're saying? He's like the top G in both worlds. So, God's heaven in Christian mythology or whatever, Christianity, I don't know. God's heaven and then Satan's hell. No, Hades is both. Alright, cool. Or do you just go to Hades no matter what? Which, by the way, stupid, but Hades is not only a god, but it's also the name of the Greeks' version of hell. Real creative there. Really, expanding your horizons really makes sense. Anyways, since he didn't live in Olympus, his qualifications as an Olympian are in dispute, but as a brother of Zeus and Poseidon, he was a powerful force among the Olympians. Yeah. I think Hades is pretty cool. I like him. If I had to choose my favorite Greek character, probably Prometheus. But also Ares is actually kind of cool. Yeah. Frick you, Moist Critical, for giving him that lame rating. Because he had a small penis. Which, by the way, he probably didn't have a small penis. People, actually, back then, had small penises in, like, pictures and sculptures and stuff. This is true. Hear me out. Because the bigger the penis, the lower the intelligence, apparently, back then. That's what they thought. So, that explains why I'm a freaking idiot, I guess. You know. Just saying, this thing's kind of weighing my IQ down. I'm just saying. Anyways, it's true though. Look it up. Actually, I've never looked it up. I've just heard it, but it's true. It's definitely true. I would know because, you know. Anyways, Athene. Okay, a goddess of war. Okay, we're getting to her before Ares. Okay. But also, it's the word cuts off in half and it continues on the next line. I'm having a hard time connecting them. I thought I almost threw up in my mouth for a second. Sorry. Patronus of the arts and crafts. She was the goddess of wisdom and the goddess of the city of Athens. That's cool. Anyways, Apollo. The only god to have the same name in both Greek and Roman mythology. Hercules kind of has the same name, I guess, but, you know. He had many functions. He was the god of poetry. The god of poetry. Oh. You pathetic peasant. Do you know who I am? I'm the god of poetry. Okay, dude. Gonna pop a vessel there. Oh my god. What are you gonna do? Recite a poem to me? You gonna make me fall in love with you? What? Okay. Where was I? He was the god of poetry, music. Alright, so he gave us Tupac, so that's cool. Archery. Prophecy. That makes sense. Alright, cool. And the art of healing. So he's a doctor? Okay, that's cool. He was a sun god, and he was a sun god of great antiquity. I'm being genuine whenever I say I don't know how to read. Just and wise of great beauty. How do y'all feel when I read? I feel like y'all are just gonna be as all over the place as I am, because I can't speak. I'm not good at reading out loud. I'm not. I'm surprised I was able to do that president's tier list. I should make a Greek mythology tier list. That's right. I'm gonna rip off Moist Critical. Artemis, the sister of Apollo. Artemis is a pretty cool name. I wish my name was Artemis. The frick? That sounds like a pretty cool name. Artemis. Sounds like a Transformer name or something. I don't know. The sister of Apollo, goddess of the hunt and of beasts. Okay. Is the goddess of childbirth. Right. And of chastity? Chastity? Titty? She's the goddess of titties? Alright, that's cool. She is usually depicted with bow and arrows. So how is Apollo god of archery, and of poetry, and of music, and Hephaestus. Hephaestus. I got it right the first time, probably. Hephaestus. I don't freaking care. The god of fire. That sounds pretty cool. And craftsmen. Alright. Especially the smiths who worked in metal. He's known as the divine artificer. Okay. Hephaestus was lame and not as handsome as other gods. Nevertheless, he was married to the beautiful Aphrodite, goddess of love, and was able to punish her for her unfaithfulness in the most subtle way. Okay. See, guys, you have a chance. Everybody at home, you, right there, you ugly person. You have a chance. If this guy could, stick his penis in the goddess of love, then you can shoot your shot, dude. Hephaestus. Let's look him up real quick. Oh my god. Are you sure he wasn't the most good looking? Oh boy. Holy crap. God dang. The guy Aphrodite must have cheated on, must have been like Ryan Reynolds. Jesus Christ, because this guy isn't exactly, he just looks sad, that's all. But look, this guy's freaking buff. Oh my god. And look at those hands, dude. What you need those big manly hands for? Jesus Christ. Alright. Anyways. Aphrodite, the goddess of love. Aphrodite was born of the sea foam that was swirled around the flesh of Uranus. I think, Aphrodite, you're not special. Everybody was born that way. You put the sausage in, and then the sea foam comes out, and then you stick the hot dog in the bun. You put the penis in Uranus, and then out comes Aphrodite. I don't know. I can't come up with any more euphemisms. So, but swirled around in the flesh of Uranus. Dude, that is so good. I'm not even kidding. It says that right here. I don't know if you can see it. It says, was born of the sea foam that was swirled around the flesh of Uranus. Can you see that? No, that's a genuine question. I don't know if it's focused or whatever. I don't even know. I don't have like 15 trillion monitors. I have a single monitor setup and stuff, and I don't really care. That it's there, so you can trust me on that one. I would not make this up. Never. I would never do that to you. I would never come up with such an amazing story. God, that's too good. Alright. So, swirling around the flesh of Uranus that had been cast into the sea, she was married to the smith god Hephaestus, but had many other loves. She is often depicted with the infant Eros. Infant, you say? No, that's just no. That's no, dude, no. You can't do that. You can't do that, Aphrodite, you silly goose. You can't be a pedophile. It's not good nowadays. It shouldn't be good any days, but, what can I do? Incest is apparently a thing, so, Anyways, Dionysus. Dionysus? Dionysus. I don't know who Dion is, but they're sus apparently. So, anyways, a Greek fertility god. Really? How many fertility gods are there? What you got? Oh no, there's multiple gods of fertility. I don't even freaking know, but still, whatever. Another fertility god. Anyways, of a very ancient origin, attended by Satyrs, half man, half beast, and Maenads. Oi, Maenads! Oi! Aphrodite, get away from Maenads! Before I put sea foam in your anus. I'm having way too much fun with this. Anyways, he was famous for his frenzied festivities, not festivals, festivities. Hermes, the winged messenger of the gods. Hermes was also the god of merchants and thieves, of roads, of flocks, and of luck, not speed. Unfortunately, he wasn't the god of drugs, so. Hestia, the goddess of the hearth and of the fire within it. There are few myths about this gentle goddess, though she was much loved. Other gods and spirits of land and sea included Helios, a sun god. 4-winged horses drew his chariot across the sky each day. He was identified with Apollo and also the Sol. With Sol, a Roman god. He was consort with Rhodos, after whom the island of I was right. Okay, Rhodos, after whom the island of Rhodes is named. Selene was an ancient goddess of the moon. She too was drawn across the sky in a chariot pulled by white horses. She loved a youth named Endymion. What are these names? Anyways, what the frick is that? Hescepius? Sclepius? Eus? A god of medicine and healing. So a doctor? Okay. There was another god that could do that, by the way, so you're basically useless. According to legend, he learned an art of healing from the gentle centaur Chiron? Pan, like the movie Pan? That movie? About Peter Pan? Is he Greek mythology? Is Neverland part of this? Where are the gods of Neverland? Where's freaking Blackbeard and Captain Hook? Which, by the way, did you know people back then, their names were actually based off their hobbies and, what they did for a living? So Captain Hook, he was either a hooker or he was a fisherman. You're welcome for that, by the way. Anyways, Pan, a very ancient deity from the mountains of Arcadia. He was a god of herds and flocks. Fertility, if I had a nickel for every god there was of fertility, I'd have 20 cents. Anyways, he's usually depicted as half man, half goat, and playing the shrinks or pipes of Pan with magical effect on those that heard him. Okay? Centaurs, wild creatures, half man, half horse. They were begotten by the mortal I'm not saying that name, and the goddess Hera, whatever, I don't care, who produced a son. Who produced a son. They make it seem like they freaking made him in a factory. They just put him together. Like it was a little like Megablocks figure or something. Okay. Centaurus then mated with the wild mares and of the Sali, and the centaurs were born. They were wild, lusty, and drunken, except for the gentle Chiron. Chiron was the teacher of the guardian Achilles, Jason, Hercules, and other Greek heroes. Which, by the way, Hercules is actually said Heracles in Greek mythology. Pretty sure it's Roman mythology that is Hercules. So, the names are kind of similar. There was like the other god that had the same name, and it was Apollo. But Hercules basically has the same name. But for the sake of this, I'm going to refer to him as Heracles. It's spelt like Heracles, so it would also be easier for me. But so just know when I say Heracles, I mean Hercules. So don't get mad at me, by the way. That's how you pronounce his name, and you're not going to change my mind. Okay? Anyways, Eros, a god of love. Yeah, you gotta wait in line, buddy. There's Aphrodite. Eros was often depicted as an infant in the company of the love goddess Aphrodite. You can't marry a goddamn infant. I swear to God, I will swallow a whole gallon of glue. Okay. Anyways, the nymphs were young, beautiful spirits of nature, generally kind to men. They could also be mischievous. The harpies were bird-like creatures with faces of women and breasts of women, by the way. There's a page on here that talks specifically about harpies. Which, by the way, harpy comes from it comes from a Greek name. It's like thief. They're thieves, and they snatch and attack you. Birds with women face and breasts. So that's pretty cool. Anyways, they embodied violent winds strong enough to snatch people away and were greatly feared. They appeared in the story of Argonauts. That is such a cool name. What? Okay. God, some of these names are actually really cool. Ajax? That is interesting. Let's go look at harpies. Hold on. Mars. Mars is also a planet and apparently is a god as well. Or Greek character. Or Roman character. Who knows? Who really cares? Anyways, Prometheus! Hey, We'll get to Prometheus later, actually. I want to get to the harpies. I want to look up what a harpy looks like, actually. Let's do that, actually. Where's my phone again? Jesus. What is a harpy? Like, I can imagine all I want, but if it's too risque, I won't show it, but oh my god. Ew. That is... Well, I'm sure some people are into that. Alright. No, hold on. Okay, never mind. What is that? Some of these aren't even birds. They describe them as just birds with a face of a woman, and then half of these are just birds with human Oh. Oh my... What is that? What the... Alright, anyways, let's Prometheus. So There's a lot of Prometheus, Jesus Christ. Okay, anyways. In Greek mythology, one of the Titans descended from the Earth Mother Gaia and the Sky Father Uranus, son of Iapetus, alright? And one of the daughters. Are you sure Prometheus was a daughter? Okay. Of Oceanus. I don't know. Possibly Climon, brother of Atlas. Atlas is pretty cool. He's the guy who lifts up the Earth, by the way, because he was a Titan. He was punished by the gods and was, he lifts up the Earth for eternity. So he's basically the bridge gap between Hades and Earth. So it's pretty cool. Father of Deucalion. Oh, wait, hold on. I was getting too ahead of myself. Okay. Brother of Atlas and Epimetheus. Father of Deucalion. Prometheus was a remarkable figure in Greek mythology. Some stories say that he was the creature of man. He was certainly the main champion of humankind, bringing the gift of fire and teaching people how to use it. He also taught humans astronomy, medicine, navigation, metalworking, architecture, and writing. So that's really cool. It gives origin to fire, basic things that we think about, like reading, So, thank you thanks Prometheus for giving me the ability to speak English, barely. Anyways, Zeus was angry with Prometheus for stealing fire and bringing it to man. He had Prometheus chained to a rock on Mount Caucasus, alright, where an eagle, or a vulture, plugged his liver all day. It was probably a vulture, but okay. But Prometheus healed every night, so that his suffering seemed destined to go on for all eternity. He was eventually rescued by Heracles and given immortality by Chiron, the centaur. To revenge himself on mankind, Zeus sent Pandora into the world with her all the troubles and sickness of humankind. References to Prometheus are found in the most of classical poets such as Hesiod and Aeschylus. Dude, I am butchering these names. Oh my god. In the 18th century, German poet and scholar Goethe saw Prometheus as a symbol of man's creative striving and his rebellion against the restraints of society. The 19th century English poet Percy Bysshe Shelley and Prometheus Unbound glorified the Titan who dared to revolt against the gods and triumph over tyranny. Some scholars say that in early mythologies, Prometheus remained chained to his rock throughout all eternity, but to the fair-minded ancient Greek poets who recorded the myths, it was unthinkable that the champion of humankind should be so punished. Hence the story of Heracles, the hero who broke the bonds of Prometheus, and Chiron, who conferred his immortality of Prometheus to end his own suffering. The story of enmity between Zeus and Prometheus may represent the antagonism between an ancient god and the invading Olympian gods, personified by Zeus, who tried to overthrow older religions. Alright. Prometheus, firebringer and champion of man. Prometheus, a Titan, was a remarkable figure in Greek mythology. It is said that on one occasion Prometheus made two bundles out of the remains of an ox and had been sacrificed. One bundle contained the meat and the other the bones. He wrapped the bones in succulent-looking fat, and the meat he placed inside of the stomach sac of an ox. Asked to choose which package he preferred, the god of Zeus chose the package that looked succulent and contained nothing but bones, In his anger at being tricked, what a prank, dude. Honestly, wow, what an actual alpha male move right there. You just really pulled a fast one on him, didn't you? Anyways, Zeus decided to forbid the knowledge of fire making to humankind. Why take it out on humankind? He just played a freaking joke with you. He's like, haha, you're an idiot, so you got mad at yourself being an idiot, and you punished humankind for something that Prometheus did. You know, it's whatever. Zeus was never really my favorite, but, you know. Prometheus, undaunted, stole fire from heaven, or from the forge of the smith god Hephaestus, and brought it down to earth, hidden in a hollow sack of the fennel plant. He then began to teach people all the uses of fire, how to make tools and fashion metal, how to build, how to cook, also how to sow and reap, and how to use herbs for healing. It's pretty cool, I guess. I'll be right back. I'm gonna do a little bit of a gaming session with Stun Cobras real quick. So we're just gonna close the books there. That was very loud. I hope I didn't wake anybody up. Whew, that was kind of stupid. Anyways, see you in just a minute. Second for y'all. I don't even know. Whatever. Who cares? Alright. We're back. Did a little bit of a gaming sesh with some Cobras. We spent like half the time coping about how bad my internet is. So anyways, where were we? I actually completely forgot. We were talking about Prometheus. I remember that. Right. Zeus wanted to get revenge. He punished humanity for something Prometheus did. It's pretty cringe, but you know. What can you do? Prometheus, undaunted, stole fire from heaven, or from a forge of the smith god Hephaestus, and brought it down to earth, hidden in a hollow stalk of a fennel plant. We read this part. Fashion metal, how to cook, healing, yada yada yada. Prometheus, the champion of humankind, had thwarted the great god Zeus in his attempt to conceal knowledge of fire from humans. He had to be punished. Zeus had Prometheus chained to a rock on Mount Caucasus, whatever, where he was tormented by eagle and or vulture that plucked at his liver through the day. Since Prometheus was healed every night, this torture would go on through all eternity. Eventually, Prometheus was released from this dilemma by the hero Heracles, who slew the... I'm pretty sure that's supposed to say slayed? I don't know what the word slew means. Who slew the bird and unbound Prometheus. The gentle centaur Chiron then conferred his own immortality upon Prometheus, so that he would die. But Prometheus would live, as well as being punished for bringing fire to men. Zeus was holding Prometheus captive because he knew a secret to which Zeus wanted to answer. The sea nymph Thetis was soon to bear a child that would be greater than its father. The father could be either Zeus or Poseidon. The child could cause chaos among the Olympian gods. Prometheus would not reveal his secret as long as he was held captive. This is why I like Prometheus, man. He's really just an alpha male. You really have to have the nog, the balls, the chutzpah to really stand up to the big man like that. If you drop the soap, you're really you're fricked, basically, for lack of a better term. And I mean that both figuratively and literally. He really just cannot keep it inside his pants. If they even had pants back then. I don't know, man. Prometheus and Pandora. The woman made of clay, or something, I think. She was made out of something. She's not real, by the way. Prometheus, the champion of humankind. Every time you bring up Prometheus, you have to bring up the champion of mankind, obviously. If you say it without that, then you're a fraud. It's like spelling MF Doom in not all capital letters. You probably, you might as well just go to prison for that. Half the people watching this, if there's anybody watching this, probably don't even know who MF Doom is. He's a rapper, by the way. Anyways, Prometheus, champion of humankind, was cause of a great anger to the great god Zeus. Prometheus had tricked Zeus in a matter of sacrifices made by man and had eventually, flip the page, escaped from his terrible torture inflicted by Zeus. As punishment, Zeus decided that mankind must be punished for having received forbidden gift of fire. Wait a minute. Prometheus gave them the gift. That's not humankind's fault. What? How could that? I'm confused. How you punish humankind because of something they did? Who am I to question the Zeus? It's Zeus. It really speaks for itself, really. Anyways, for having received the forbidden gift of fire, one of many bounties bestowed by Prometheus against the wishes of Zeus. Zeus ordered Hephaestus, the smith god, to make a woman out of clay. I knew it. It was clay. The gods breathed life into her and made her irresistibly beautiful. She was named Pandora and sent to Earth bearing a sealed vase of which she was forbidden to know the contents. In spite of warnings from Prometheus, Epimetheus, his brother, immediately took Pandora to be his wife. Pandora opened the vase, and every disaster that humankind were ever to know was released upon the world. Only hope remained in the vase, giving humankind the will to go on living. Oh, right. I read that wrong. Okay. Wait, no, we're done with this. Alright, so that's the story of Prometheus and Pandora. So yeah. She was made out of clay. Women these days None of them are real. Some of them are made out of plastic. Some of them are made out of clay. Saturn. Saturn. That's a god. Saturn, like the planet Saturn, the one with the rings, god of agriculture, sowing a seed of corn in Roman mythology. His symbol was a scythe. Saturn was a Roman adaptation of the Greek Kronos. He was the father of Jupiter, Neptune, Pluto, and Juno. His wife Rhea, though earlier myths say that she was Lua or Ops, in legend Saturn was a king of Italy whose reign was celebrated as a golden age. His feast, called the Saturnalia, was held in mid-December. Excuse me, so that's like Christmas, basically? It's the equivalent? Do people in Rome celebrate that nowadays? Do they celebrate Saturnalia? That's a genuine question. Like, do they? Or I don't know. Anyways, the time of winter sowing. Okay. It was time for righteous feasting and this is Christmas. What? Exchanging gifts? It became incorporated eventually into Christmas festivities after the pagan era ended. So it influenced Christianity? Christianity was like based off of Roman mythology? Interesting. Which, by the way, I'll do this in another video probably, but I do have a Holy Bible. I'm pretty sure this is the First Testament. I'm holding it upside down. The Holy Bible. So, if this video does good, even if it doesn't, I still kind of want to make a video on this. But I do have a Bible. Oh my God. It's Jesus. It's the Holy Bible. Anyways. I don't really. Trojan War. There we go. Trojan War. Trojan War, a legendary war. I'm not reading this wrong. It says Trojan War, a legendary war. Literally, look. Focus. Oh my. Literally, I'm gonna. Taking this. Hold on. It's it. Okay. There you go. Is it focusing? Focus. There you go. That's what it says. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera. I have like Parkinson's or something. I don't even know. I don't even know if that's a joke. Sadly, my hands are super shaky. Anyways. Trojan War. A legendary war fought between Archaean, the Greek, we're just gonna call him Greek, invaders, and the defenders of Troy, a seaport of northwestern tip of Asia Minor, around 1200 to 1300 BC. The events of this war and the return to their homes of some of the Greek generals, engineered. Wait. Is it that? No, it did not say engineered. Engendered? Did I get hit by, like, this stupid bat? What? Did I just gain an extra chromosome from that? I don't... Oh, my brain is broken right now. Okay, anyways. A body of myth that was recounted over the centuries and eventually reshaped and written down into the great poet Homer in two epics, the Iliad and the Odyssey. So, there you go. The story of 10-year struggle between the Greeks and the Trojans is a complex one. The cause of the war, according to Greek mythology, was said to be the silver-footed sea nymph Thetis and the king Agenea. Peleus neglected to invite Eris into the midst of the wedding throng. The apple was inscribed to the what? Did I miss something? No, I did not. Oh, no. Excuse me. I did miss something. Neglected to invite Eris to their wedding. In her anger, Eris threw an apple into the midst of the wedding throng. The apple was inscribed to the Ferris. Ferris. Three goddesses immediately claimed the apple. Hera, the chief goddess and wife of Zeus, Athene, goddess of war, and Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty. When asked to make a choice between the three goddesses, Zeus wisely declined and gave the task to young Trojan prince Paris, who was said to be exceedingly handsome. Three goddesses wooed young Paris, tempting him with bribes. Paris succumbed. He cummed? They made him cummed? They made him come? Come on, dude. Interesting. I'm down here. Circumferenced to the love of the most beautiful woman in the world in return of the apple. At the time, the most beautiful woman in the world was Helen, the young queen and king Menelaus of Sparta. And he took her from Sparta, thus starting the war. You would know if you watched Troy, which is a really good movie, by the way. I know I already said it in this video, but you should watch the movie. It's actually pretty freaking... It's on Netflix. I'm just saying, it's on Netflix. So, for now, they're probably going to take it off because it's Netflix. But it's there. It's there right now. Right now, at the time of recording this. It is there. Paris went to the court of Menelaus, won Helen, and carried her away to Troy. King Menelaus immediately relied around him all the former lover suitors of Helen who had promised to fight anyone who might try to steal Helen away from Greece. Menelaus chose his brother Alright, pause. Hold on. Hold the phone. My hair. My hair. Anyways, pause. What the frick? Who named these people? Who? Literally who? I want to kill you in real life. Literally. The one time I really want to read. And then this, really? This? A gay man. That's kind of what the word looks like. A gay man, king of my... Oh, Machine. What the heck is that? As leader of the army, a gay man soon had a fleet, 1,000 ships ready to sail for Troy. Among the first victims of the war was one of a gay man's own daughters, Iphigenia, sacrificed in order to gain fair winds to Troy. Achilles was the principal hero of the Greeks who took part in the Trojan War. His contingent numbered about 50 ships, had led his own army, unlike the other Greeks who acknowledged the leadership of Agamemnon, and his huge fleet. Achilles captured a number of towns in the coast near Troy. Among his prizes was the beautiful slave girl Briseis. Agamemnon stole Briseis away from Achilles. Furious, Achilles withdrew from the war, causing a serious setback to the Greeks. The quarrel between Achilles and Agamemnon was one of the starting points of the events of the latter part in the Trojan War, described by Homer in the Iliad. Later, Achilles would rejoin the war and help bring the Greeks to victory, this time under the leadership of his dear friend Patrick, I guess. Patrick was killed by the Greek hero Hector. Achilles then slew Hector and dragged his dead body around the ruins of Troy. So Patrick was his cousin, I'm pretty sure. At least, I don't know. It's a spoiler alert, by the way. Spoiler. Okay? Spoiler. Achilles brought his cousin to the war. This is like in the movie, right? And the cousin and him kind of look alike. He was wearing a helmet, so nobody could tell. But the locks, the long hair, the golden, amazing hair, really good fighter. Fought basically exactly like Achilles. Was killed in a fight. Because his cousin was posing as Achilles. So basically, he had it coming to him. So then Achilles found out that his cousin died and literally went over to the guy who killed him, which his name is Hector. And he did drag his body around Troy. And yeah, it was pretty freaking, I don't even know. My least favorite part of the movie, though, again, spoilers, the freaking actor for the brother of Hector, I'm pretty sure, he's the same guy from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. He's the love interest for Elizabeth Swann. Nothing against this actor, of course, no. However, I'm not a big fan of his characters in either movies, really. I mean, him and Elizabeth Swann in those movies were just kind of bickered. They were like a old married couple, really, and Jack Sparrow was the only good character, along with, what's his face? Excuse me. There were other good characters, obviously, but that's not the point. The actor for that killed it. I don't care. The guy he was playing, Jesus Christ, he was a coward. He got into a fight too, and he literally freaking crawled away, hid behind his brother Hector, who had to finish the fight for him. Right. And that same guy that hid behind his brother was the same guy who killed Achilles. I'm not making this up. This is you really have to watch the movie for yourself to really know what the heck just happens. It's a really good movie, trust me. The action is just freaking nuts. Uh, so yeah, and on the topic of this, watch the movie Gladiator. You know what? Frick it. You know that movie's pretty good too. It's also Roman, so on the topic of Greek and Roman mythology, I don't even think that's actually really much off topic. Anyways, back to the book. Back to the fun stuff. So yeah, dragged his body around the ruins of Troy, led by the hero Hector. The Trojans were successful in many major engagements, especially when Achilles temporarily left the conflict. After the quarrel with a gay man, eventually the Trojans lost the war when the Greek hero Odysseus had the cunning idea of hiding troops within a huge wooden horse that was delivered as a gift within the walls of Troy. The selected troops broke out of their hiding place in the dead of night, slew the Trojans, and set fire to their city. Fire presented by yours truly, Prometheus. The gods themselves took sides in the Trojan War and played the active part in the hostiles. Apollo and the war god Ares, the god of war Ares, get it right, dude, supported the Trojans, and the chorus Aphrodite, the champion of Paris, Athene, Hera, and Poseidon backed the Greeks, and Hephaestus, the smith god, made armor for Achilles, the hero of the Greeks. The Trojan War was the last great communal enterprise of the Greek heroes. Although it succeeded in its aim to rescue Helen, the difficulties were great and a long drawn out and air of failure and defeat seemed to hang over the enterprise. Few of the heroes returned to find their homes secure, and few dynasties survived for more than a few generations. It's cool. Anyways, yeah, Trojan War. Pretty amazing. I really like that. I'm a big fan of wars in general. Like, obviously, like, I find the history fascinating. I would never want to be part of a war. I would never want to fight in a war. As cool as I think it would be, I'd rather live to tell about a war, but it is what it is. But they really did play an epic prank on them, you know, giving them a wooden horse as a gift, with which, you know, yippee, it's a wooden horse. But they did that, by the way, because Troy was a village, basically, that was surrounded by walls. Impenetrable walls. It was impossible to go through. And even if you did, you would have been caught by then, probably. So they had amazing security. So the only way to get past the security, because they didn't have good security, they had good, security, they were contained, but they didn't have, good security, people watching out. So, nowadays people would check it with metal detectors and all of that. But yeah, so they snuck in through a horse via a gift, which I don't know why they would accept the gift from people who were literally trying to kill them over a girl. A girl. bruh. Because one guy was just like, mate, sold my girl. I don't care. I'm like 25 years older than her. You know, she was still being breastfed by the time I was able to drink. But you know, I'm not even kidding. By the way, watch the movie. Literally watch the movie, Troy. I'm not even kidding. Like the man's like, he's like fat, based off my memory, and he's elder, so he's kind of a creep. I think that's enough of this. I love this book, man. It's really cool. I got to learn things that I didn't know about Greek mythology. Something, Jesus, I almost choked on goldfish. Something I'm very interested in. It's like one of the few many things I am passionate about. That makes sense. You're just an idiot. And hopefully I got you interested into Greek mythology. So I'm just gonna tell you some things I do know. Kronos, the father of Zeus, Hera, Poseidon, Hades. Kronos was known for eating his children because he knew that one day one of them would be better than him and would overthrow him. And that person was Zeus. And one of his greatest fears, which is why he always ate his children, even he couldn't keep it in his pants, you know, like father, like son. Basically, he ate his children because he was afraid that they would overthrow him, which did come to fruition when Zeus did that. And basically, that happened, and all of them got punished. All the Titans got punished. In the God of War games, you know, he wandered the deserts holding Pandora's box, in like this big giant temple. He was on fours the whole time. Atlas was holding up the earth. Was Prometheus a Titan? I don't even know. But Prometheus wasn't punished for being a Titan. He was punished for giving humans things. But from what I read in there, it almost sounded like they made him a Titan or something. I don't even know. But yeah, there's that. Also, incest is a thing. I always knew that. I always knew that Zeus was really giving it to his sister, which is really just messed up. And that's probably why... Oh, Jesus Christ. Sorry. What was I saying? Which is probably why the family's so freaked up, is because incest was a thing. So, I keep looking at myself. I'm supposed to look at the camera. You, right there. Anyways, but I'm gonna keep looking at myself because I look gorgeous. Excuse me. What else do I know? What else do I know? I knew Pandora. The Pandora's box, it contained everything. All of mankind's stuff, I guess. Anything that basically, you know, the flu, I guess, you know, probably the coronavirus, somewhere in there. Unless we just completely made that ourselves, and in that case, we are really freaking stupid. We invented a whole new way to kill ourselves. Or smart, who knows? Maybe it's a new meta to kill ourselves. Maybe it is, you know, there's... See you when I see you. Goodbye.